Welcome to the Dupont Cellulosic Ethanol Facility, or commonly referred to as DCE. This video is intended to inform visitors of proper health and safety regulations while on site. Dupont is committed to zero accidents and incidents, and we firmly believe that all accidents are preventable. Furthermore, we believe that 95% of all accidents are caused by unsafe behaviors, which is why DCE employees conduct routine behavior safety audits to encourage continuous safety performance improvement for our employees, contractors, and guests. DCE requires that anyone working inside the facility understands and wears the proper personal protective equipment, or PPE, at all times. Dupont will provide PPE to all of its employees and visitors. Contractors working on site are required to provide their own PPE. However, contractor PPE must meet all applicable standards and are subject to DCE site approval before and during use. Cell phones may not be brought in or used in the processing area due to electrical classifications, equipment classifications, and to prevent distractions. Cell phones should be left in personal vehicles or turned into the office before processing into the plant. Cameras are not allowed anywhere inside the plant without written permission of DCE leadership. If you are visiting the facility, you are required to wear a hard hat, closed-toed shoes, appropriate gloves, and safety glasses with side shields while in working areas on site. If you are performing work on site or walking through working areas, safety shoes with toe protection are required. Hearing protection is required where indicated by signage, blue painted lines, or if specific equipment is loud enough that you must elevate your voice to carry a normal conversation. During no point while working inside the plant is loose clothing, neckties, or loose-fitting jewelry allowed to be worn. Long pants are also required in all working areas at all times. Additional PPE may be above and beyond site basic PPE in some areas and some situations. These additional requirements will be defined by site procedure and will be indicated on associated work permits. To ensure the safety of all employees, contractors, and visitors, it is extremely important to report all safety incidents to DCE leadership immediately. All spills or near misses also need to be reported immediately. Should an incident occur, Dupont and associated contractors are required to begin the incident investigation process within 24 hours of an incident. When traveling on site, all vehicles must comply with all signage. All roads must be kept clear at all times. Park only where indicated by DCE personnel. All employees, contractors, and guests are to ride only in seats designed for human use. All mobile equipment operators must be successfully trained to operate any mobile equipment. Pedestrians must have the right of way at all times, except when emergency response vehicles are active. Riding in cargo areas or other locations on a vehicle without a seat is never permitted. When a vehicle is in motion, all occupants must wear a seatbelt. Cell phones are never to be utilized by the driver while operating any motorized vehicle. At DCE, there are several types of alarms you may hear in case of emergency or accident. Each alarm tone will be followed by a brief description announced over the plant loudspeaker system.
Ammonia release.
In case of any alarm, including drills, all work is to stop and all personnel are to report to the nearest assembly point and account with the account manager at that location, either the CRC or the administrative building. All work must be stopped until the all clear is sounded.
All clear.
All fires and emergencies must be reported to the Site Emergency Response Team, or ERT, immediately. The ERT can be contacted by plant radio, calling the plant CCR, or by utilizing one of the emergency pull stations. Emergency pull stations like this one activate the alarm system and are located strategically throughout the facility. The fire alarm sounds like this.
Fire. ECR 1.
There are 3 types of fire extinguishers in the facility: ABC, B-type, and alcohol foam type extinguishers. Be sure to identify the nearest extinguisher located near your work location. In case of severe weather, you will hear the following tone.
Severe weather alert.
If this alarm is sounded, additional instructions will be given directly over the plant loudspeaker system on how to proceed. The severe weather shelter is located in the CCR. If the ammonia alarm is activated,
Ammonia release.
move to the nearest assembly point for personnel accounting. Be sure to utilize the site windsocks to ensure your route of travel to the assembly point is not downwind of the release point. First aid kits and AEDs are located throughout the plant. Safety showers and eye wash stations, such as this one, are located throughout the facility and labs wherever corrosive chemicals are present. Contractors and visitors are required to follow all DCE health and safety policies while on site. All permits, forms, and standard operating procedures, or SOPs, required to conduct your work will be communicated to you through the work permit process or by your Dupont host. A confined space entry permit is required before entering any required confined space. Confined spaces are labeled at or near entryways and will be indicated on the work permit. All welding, torching, grinding, or anything spark producing is required to have a hot work permit approved prior to starting hot work. The Nevada DCE facility includes several process areas which are covered by the requirements of OSHA. These areas include anhydrous ammonia storage and distribution and ethanol distillation and storage. Before breaking into any pipes or pressurized lines, a line break lockout permit must be approved by DCE personnel. Lock tag clear try requirements are defined in Site Procedure PRS01 and will be communicated in the work permit process. Electric, hydraulic, and pneumatic or any other potential energized sources must be locked and tagged out per this procedure. No work may be conducted on site before first meeting the requirements of this procedure. Fall protection devices, such as this harness, are required when a person is working or elevated more than 6 feet above the ground floor. Employees must be tied off with appropriate lanyard 100% of the time. Be careful to tie off to a steel structure capable of holding 5,000 pounds. Any steel pipe greater or equal to 3 inches is acceptable. Conduit, copper, PVC pipes, or sprinkler lines are not acceptable tie-off points. When using a ladder, it's important to maintain 3-point contact, such as this employee here. Always face the ladder and never work from the top step. If working in a height greater than 6 feet, fall protection is recommended. When possible, tie off the ladder or have a spotter hold the base. All chemicals that are brought on site must be approved by the site safety, health, and environmental manager before being brought on site the first time. SDS submittal is required for each chemical. All hazardous chemicals must be properly labeled and stored while in use on plant. Unused chemicals must be taken back off-site. All gas cylinders are to be secured in an upright position by chain or a minimum of a 9-gauge wire. Spill kits to clean up chemical and oil spills are available. All spills must be reported to DCE personnel immediately and should be controlled and cleaned up as quickly as possible. Natural gas is used with utilities, and combustible dust hazard is present in the feedstock load area and dryer area. Only intrinsically safe two-way radios are allowed in distillation and ethanol loadout areas. Smoking is permitted in designated areas only. Your host will identify the smoking areas at your request. Barricading is an important safety practice utilized here on site and is defined in Safety Procedure PRS 03. Barricades must be respected at all times. Yellow and black barricading indicates caution. These areas should be avoided unless your work requires entry. Entry into a barricaded area is only permitted if you have met the requirements for the entry defined on the barricade tag located at the barricade gate. Red and black barricading indicates warning or immediate danger and must not be entered unless specific clearance is given by the owning organization. We have just completed the safety tour of the Nevada Dupont facility. Thank you for taking the time to observe all of the safety, health, and environmental requirements. Remember that with proper awareness, all accidents can be prevented. Enjoy your visit.